Now we're going to go ahead and find our top dead center. Before I degree the cam, I want to know what my static compression ratio is, and I want to know what my dynamic compression ratio is. So let's just go ahead and get this thing back up to top dead center so we make sure we know we're at top dead center. We're going to need that, know that anyway when we get ready to degree the cam. But I'm going to take this thing all the way up. Now we're not degreeing the cam. I just want to know, take my measurement with my calipers to see how far down the piston is in the hole. All right, there we go. Once that thing stops, that dial indicator tops out, I know I'm at top dead center. All right. No, that's pretty darn close right there. I'll set my piston stop. See if I can go any higher. Yep. A little bit higher. Now I'll have to back it off a little bit. So I can loosen this up. Okay, let's come back up. So I'll find that top dead center. Okay, it's getting pretty close. Okay, right there. I came down just a little bit, but for measurement purposes, just to see how far this is down in the hole for our static compression ratio. So stay tuned. Okay, now I know that I'm at top dead center with my piston stop and my dial indicator. The thickness of this stop is 0.375, and I'm going to subtract 375 from 405. That looks like that's going to give us about 30 thousandths down in the hole. So yep, we're 30 thousandths down in the hole. Now, I want to share with everybody what I'm doing. I'm not degreeing the cam yet. I want to make sure that this thing is going to run on pump gas. So there is a website, it's called Go Fast Math, and I use this on every engine build we do. This is a street-driven engine. Glenn's going to be driving all over, so he's going to be running pump gas. So there's a website here. Okay, here's the website. It's called Go Fast Math, and man, it will get you pretty darn close every time. So there's a couple things, and here's everybody knows there's static compression ratio. All that is basically how far that piston is down in the hole, your head gasket thickness, and your CCs on your chamber size of your aluminum heads. But we get into dynamic compression ratio. That's where we've got to plug in our numbers for our cam. You're going to have your cam card, and you're going to have to put in some calculations to find some certain, but it's not very hard. They're going to tell you how to do it. So I want to make note. Dynamic is what you set to run on what type of fuel. And if you look here, it's going to tell you that, let's see, with a mild cam, it will have high dynamic compression ratio, probably 9.5 plus 1, blah, 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 run safely on 91 octane. However, that same 11-to-1 static compression ratio engine with the Radical 259, 269 duration camshaft would have a dynamic compression ratio in the neighborhood of 7.5 to 1. Totally acceptable, run on pump gas. Key, general rule of thumb for acceptable dynamic compression ratio to run safely on pump gas is 8 to 1 maximum for engines with cast iron heads, and with 8.5 to 1 with aluminum cylinder heads. We have aluminum cylinder heads. So we plugged in our cylinder bore, we plugged in our stroke. This is our CCs of the heads. Our domes, I added up the pockets for the CCs on the pistons. Our head gasket thickness is 30 thou. That's going to be when you on your head gasket. The bore of the head gasket was 3.950. Our deck clearance is actually 0.025. And now to know our dynamic, this is our rod length, and this is our intake valve closing at 50. So I'm going to calculate this. Right there. We are right there. So, great news. We're right on that cusp of pump gas. Now, he's going to have to run 91 octane in it, but the 8.54, we can get away with that. How exactly accurate? I would say we're probably 95% accurate. There's probably few little details, but we are right there to get the maximum amount of power on this engine. That's what I shot for. I plugged in all those numbers for the cam to get that, and we're going to be there. He's going to be safe to run on pump gas, but not much more. So again, I don't build the engines to blow up, but I take it to my customers, and Glenn, he's not going to run cheap gas in this thing. He's going to run 91. In Texas, they have 91 and 93 and 94. He's going to run good fuel in this. Let's say he gets up around some places they may only have 87. I make a recommendation, just carry some octane booster just for a safety factor, but most likely he is good. So they also have horsepower calculators and everything else. I don't know how accurate those are. I like to just go by dyno or quarter mile time, but now I know we're good on static and dynamic. So now we're going to get into degreeing our camshaft. Okay, we have just degreed our cam. I'm not going to get into how to degree a cam because there's so many different ways and so many experts and do it so many ways, but I'm doing it the way I usually do it on all of them. And we came within 2 degrees of center line. I don't have enough adjustment on my timing gear. I can only adjust it in 4-degree measurements, but we're just almost spot on. We're happy with where it's at. Center line was 114. We're installed at 116. Looks like we're going to be pretty darn good. So now we're going to move on to getting ready to put our heads on, and then we're going to have to start measuring for a push rod clearance. So again, this is very important to degree your cam. I'm going to tell you because I've had cams that were, especially more radical cams that were used on, say, the engine I drag raced in my small block Mopar. I did have to degree it, and I did have to come in 4 degrees and make the adjustments, and it made a huge difference. This will make or break you, but we're doing good. We've spent the last hour degreeing it, double checking everything, and we're real happy with our results. Now we're going to move on with checking our valve to piston clearance and putting our cylinder head on and checking for push rod clearance. Because remember, when you go to a roller cam, they're taller lifters, much taller lifters, so you're going to have to get custom push rods. So now we've got our cylinder head on with our head gasket. We're going to go ahead and torque our Edelbrock head bolts down, and the instructions tell us they want you to torque them down starting at 35, then 65, then 105. They don't give you a pattern like a lot of the Edelbrock cylinder heads do give you a pattern though, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You always start in the middle and you spread yourself out. So I'm going to start torquing these down, and once we get everything torqued down, then we're going to put our intake and exhaust rocker arms on, and then we'll start measuring for our push rod length with our roller cam. Okay, so now we've got our push rod checking tool in here. This is it right here. You see all the threads where I've threaded it out. Now there's 2 types of push rod checkers that you're going to need. Actually, two types, but then there's two different types of lengths. You got one that's a ball to ball, like what we have here with our rocker arms. You got the ball, of course, goes to the rocker arm or the lifter, and then the ball goes into the cup of the rocker arm. But in some engines, you may have a cup. Some rocker arms will have a ball that's the adjuster on the end of the rocker arm. So just tidbit, two different types. Now that we've got this in there, we're going to remove this, and I have gone in to make sure this is where I want. You come over here and look at exactly where I want my roller over my valve stem. I don't have it pressurized. Once I get this thing prelude, I'll check one last time to make sure I've got the sweep I want over the valve stem. But we're looking pretty good. Also, I've got 30 thousandths preload on the rocker on the lifter. So when I adjusted this, I made sure I had 30 thousandths preload on my adjuster. So I've got some wiggle room, but now we're going to remove this push rod, and I'm going to take a measurement, and then I'm going to call my good buddy Brian Smith down in Texas, as he's a Manton push rod dealer. He's going to ask me a whole bunch of questions, not just on the length, but what kind of cam, what size, what diameter push rod it needs to be. These are set up, I believe, for 5/16, but some engines have 3/8. So again, just want everybody to see this. We got our guide plates on, and we're going to go ahead and get our push rods ordered.